guess. Oh well. Where's my stream on notification? There it is, okay. Nice. I'm sorry about what happened in court earlier today. God, everyone will be talking about me behind my back now. Dirty old man who was so busy looking at the serving girl's backside. But he can't remember her face, a filthy, depraved animal. Not at all. You're listening to me, boy. I don't care what you say, I saw that waitress put it in. She put some white powder into the young lad's Yavashino. Except for the fact that there's no bandages, that looks... Or does it? I don't know. Hold on. Okay, never mind, maybe not. A shoulder here. Hey you. Another thing. The young lie about was wearing an earpiece. On the same side as the lens of his broken spectacles. You're really sorry. So I made a little mistake about the ways. So what? I know what I saw. I tell you. Okay. Take it easy please, Mr. Kudo. Don't tell me to take it easy, you spiky haired brat. Take this. Said you were a craftsman, right? God, the modern world casts honest craftsmen like me aside in droves. Surely it's not that. I come from a long line of craftsmen, right back to the time of the shoguns. Do you hear me? I didn't become an embroiderer, I was born one. Actually, I'm kind of in the same situation myself. I want to stick my fingers up that dribbling old Tad's nose and scream right down his ear hole. Objection! Oh, so did you want to become a lawyer when you were young? I don't think that's quite it. I think he's just in a bad mood, that's all. I've got a tsunami of frustration inside and it's ready to burst out. Let him start from me now, with whom I never shut him up. What should I do? I better let him talk. So there's not much goal for craftsmen these days, then. Goes on, you idiot. All I'm good for nowadays is running errands. Errands? Everyone takes advantage of the elderly. Buy some breadcrumbs. Take the dog for a walk, granddad. Eat the pigeons, old man. What am I, some sort of too big community handyman? Well... buy some bread. Now that I can understand. But what's the point of feeding some seedy pigeons? Why don't people say that what they mean? Get lost, that's what they're trying to say. Oh yes, I'm just an inconvenience, you see. At home, at that restaurant, I just get in the way, don't I? I'm sure you don't. Wait a minute, what did you just say? At home and at that restaurant. Hold up, by restaurant are you talking about Tribulations? Did you get asked to run an errand there too? Yes, I did. The very day that young brat was poisoned. What? So on the day of the incident, what were you asked to do? Tell you yes, boy, because I'll tell you what I was asked to do. All of a sudden that young lad slumped over the table. Serving girl collapsed. and I broke the vase. It all happened so fast I was in a bit of a daze, you see. The owner shouted over to me. Excuse me, you, call the police. Call them yourself, I should have said back, but I didn't think of it at the time. So did you end up calling the police? Like I said, I was in a bit of a daze. Do you call them on your cell phone? Yeah, do I look like I have one of those newfangled thingamajigs? I went out looking for a fake one, of course. You went looking for one? I couldn't find one right away, you know. Wandered around for 5 minutes or so. 5 minutes? So for 5 minutes after the incident happened. Yes sir, the owner was at the Tribulations on his own. Why didn't you mention this in court this morning? Well, I would have if you'd given me the chance. But you all pushed me out of the courtroom. It's not my fault, you're the ones to blame. You could have at least told us before we got to court. Is it really that important that Mr. Kudo was the one who called the police? What's important is the unaccounted time before the police arrived. The victim was dead, and Maggie was unconscious. Which leaves that man, alone in the restaurant. Mr. Kudo might have been chased out of the place on purpose. What do you mean? Maybe a certain someone didn't want him in the restaurant. Oh sure, you go ahead and say I was in the way as usual. I suppose I should have been getting myself covered in pigeon poop instead, I need to get more details about what exactly happened. From Maggie and from Mr. Armstrong. Where was I supposed to go actually? Here maybe? Wait, hold up. Oh wait, yeah, I was... Oh, Mr. Wright. Hello, Maggie. So they finished questioning you? Well, that's unbelievable in court today, sir. I'm going to stay up all night and blog about everything that happened. Aren't you scared? It was pretty touch and go in there. Yeah, but he totally nailed that old man. Well, he was all over the place with his testimony. He's not the only one. Huh? What do you mean? Everyone else's testimony should match up either. Not with what I remember of the incident anyway. It's possible she's the one misremembering things. Maggie, you know how you said that everyone else provided testimony that doesn't match up with what you remember? Yep, there are just so many things that don't seem to add up. Biggest contradiction is the other guy I saw at the victim's table. He was the one who slipped something into the victim's coffee. I'm sure it was him. But Mr. Kudo testified earlier today. It was the waitress who put some white powder into the coffee cup. Do you really think it was this disappearing man that did it? Well, he's not the only thing that disappeared. The CD vanished as well. You know, the CD with the writing on it. Oh yeah, the MC Screwdriver album, right? This MC Bomber, Maya, names scrolled on the sports paper as well. They never did find that CD at the crime scene, so for the victim's medication, that's gone missing too. Ouch, my head. It's getting way too complicated for me. You said that you passed out when the victim Glenn Alec collapsed, right? Yes, it's so embarrassing. I mean, I used to be a cop. When I came to it, the restaurant was buzzing with police. Before I knew what was going on, they arrested me, so between the time the victim collapsed and the time the police arrived on the scene, you have no idea what went on at Tribulations. No idea at all. Why? Is it important, Mr. Wright? The other witness, the old man from the park, was pretty much chased out of the picture. Chased out of the picture? What do you mean? Old CD wasn't inside the restaurant because he was told to go call the police. Exactly, and you, Maggie, were unconscious. That means Mr. Armstrong was alone in the restaurant for a brief period of time. Oh. You don't think Mr. Armstrong set me up, do you? When you consider the facts, it's hard to imagine that Mr. Armstrong isn't involved in this at all. It's like the master biting the paw of the dog that it feeds. Are you sure about this, Mr. Wright? Well, the old man said as much when we spoke with him earlier. I don't know, the things that man says don't add up for some reason, so he looks like she's trying to figure something out. Maybe you should ask Maggie exactly what she knows about old CD. I feel much better. It feels like forever since I saw a witness as slippery as that old man. It's really that bad of an old man, though. Still, I feel a bit uneasy. Huh? I thought you just said you felt much better. Maggie, if there's something on your mind, you've got to tell us. Especially if it has anything to do with Mr. Kudo or his testimony. Not sure, I'll split it all and see what you make of it. Is there anything about Mr. Kudo's testimony that stood out as odd to you? Actually, yes. The fact that he was even testifying to begin with doesn't quite... what? Well, when I took the coffee over to the victim's table... It's true there was another customer in the restaurant. Yeah, we know that already, it was Victor Kudo. But I can't really say it was an old man. Okay then, how about calling him a really old middle-aged man? No, age isn't the issue. The other customer was a woman. A woman? Are you sure, Maggie? Well, I'm not 100% sure, but I think so. So, what did this woman look like? She's sort of creepy. And she had a kind of cackling laugh. Creepy? Cackling? I get the feeling I've come across a woman like this recently. I used to be on the first floor, sir, but I'm incarcerated, so I can't use my connections to help you. Oh. So I can't use this one. I thought I could present this as like... was it this guy? Is it your other response? Actually, it's a fake. No smokes, that's it. Huh? That's a patch your phone had, Mr. Wright. You did by this. But it's a completely different color. What about the fact that it's made of paper? Did the patch go to 10 as well, while he was in Hawaii or business? I'm beginning to see how my phone was able to gain her trust. Wait, what? Hold on. Oh wait, yeah, fuck. For actually what I came here for. Wait, where is it? Oh, this one up there. Oh yeah, I've got something you're going to love. Ready? What is it? A lunchbox, just for you. Here. Wow, a lunchbox. Queenies too. Believe it, thank you sir. Did you make this just for me? It's alright? Ah, it was the gumshoe. Who else would make such a nice lunchbox for you? The gumshoe. It's very worried about you. Looks like you put a lot of effort into making this too. I can't accept it. The tensions and the rules. No gifts allowed, sir. Come on, Maggie. Don't be like that. Rules are the rules. They'll lock you up if you break them. Somehow when an X-Cop turned waiter says that, it seems a whole lot scarier. And anyway, I hate weenies. Oh, really? No, you don't. It's all yours, Maya. You can enjoy it with Mr. Wright. But she's right. It's better than letting it go to waste. But I guess so. Eaten with mine. Well, how was it? That's what I love weenies. Good. I'm glad I gave it to you then, sir. I guess that's it. The main servant just went up in smoke. What? Why the heck isn't the press conference up set up yet? The superintendent's here already. Yeah, and there's a problem with the internet too. I told you to stop using your computer, Chief. I'm watching videos online. I'm catching up on my Asian soap opera. It's gonna have to wait, Chief. I'm throwing the switch. No! This was something I was about to confess to his son. Son told to throw the girlfriend. What? Oh, this place is really buzzing. Something must be going down. Something really big. Huh? What are you doing here, pal? Welcome, Shu. You can't be right here right now. We're roped into the briefing if you stay. Huh? We got big problems here today. Why? What's going on? It's a virus. A virus. A virus? It's a virus ripping through the precinct's computer system. But I really need to ask you some questions. Your batteries won't last forever. Remember that when you're having fun. In bed. What? We have a winner. A little joke to make people think about their smoke alarms. Okay. I mean, it's all for fireside safety campaign. I guess doesn't even know what he's trying to get across anymore. The power this computer has been cut. Oh well, I guess I'll just have to read the paper now. Alternatively, you could read some reports just to suggest them. The heck is this? This paper's more than a month old. And someone's written all over it. There's a clown that put this on my desk. Well, speak up. Just rattled it up and chucked it in the trash. That's an important piece of evidence. Oh man. Okay, I'm only gonna say this once, so listen up. Yes, the hopper you get, never borrow money from a place like this here. Okay. If you got money trouble, just go on a diet of instant noodles and hang in there. We're not thinking about borrowing money, detective. We want information. Oh, is that all? Well, let's see. Netherlander is considered to be even fishier than the average illegal loan shark. It seems it ran into trouble just recently. Those guys have been pretty heavy-handed, calling in all their debts. Really? Don't go poking your nose around in their business, pal. You'll really regret it if you upset that lady. Alright, I get the picture. Hey, wait a minute. What does it say? That lady? Who's this lady he's talking about, Nick? Better find out what the story is with this lady. Well, what exactly is a computer virus? Do you think I'm sure? I don't know. What? Look, I just go with the flow, alright, pal? And here I thought detectives were supposed to be somewhat knowledgeable. What's with that face, pal? You think you know what a virus is? Well, Nick, do you? Computer virus, sure. I mean, only in simple terms, of course. Really? Wow, you know everything, Professor Nick. Yeah, I'm gonna call you Dr. Wright from now on. Hey, that sounds pretty cool. Don't you agree, Dr. Wright? Why do I get the feeling they're making fun of me? Okay, fine. I'm no expert, but I can at least explain the basics to the two of you. Virus is a program that gets inside the computer and causes damage. Damage? You mean it makes the machine go boom and explode? No. But the damage is, well, it's all internal. So inside goes boom, then right. Imagine all the case data you've got stored on your PCs here in the station. Wires could wipe out all that. That's the kind of damage I'm talking about. Whoa, scary. Yeah, and what's even more scary is that viruses are infectious. Infectious? Most computers are connected together on a network, right? Viruses can move from one machine to another over the network. So the viruses keep spreading faster and faster. Just like a real virus, huh? But Nick, why would anyone want to make a program like that? Yeah, it takes ages to type in all that data. Why would you want to destroy it, pal? No, people don't infect their own machines. They send the virus to someone else's. What? That's horrible. Oh, I get it. It's like you sneezing on Mr. Code so he catches a cold. Right. He wouldn't be able to turn up in court because he'd be too sick. You really shouldn't do stuff like that, Nick. It's wrong. Who, what? Where? When and why did the conversation jump to talking about me? Anyway, that's what the computer virus is. A bad program that causes damage. And all the different viruses have names, right? I kind of feel like I've heard the name of the virus we caught somewhere before. Name of the virus now? I feel like I've heard of it before too. Wait, what did they say it was? I'm confused. That's the girl who works over at Tribulations. Don't stay away from her, okay? I mean it. She does look kind of unforgiving, doesn't she? It should be the least of your worries, pal. It's supposed to mean. It could be worse. Name's Viola Cadaverini. She's the only granddaughter of Bruto Cadaverini. Bruto Cadaverini? Do you know who that is, Nick? I've heard of him. Bruto Cadaverini is the boss of the Cadaverini family. Cadaverinis? That's one scary sounding name. You can't touch them, they're way too powerful for the police. You're thinking of taking them on, aren't you? No, I don't remember ever saying I was going to. Better get some more info out of the show about this family. I'm not sure if I really want to get involved in this, but who are the Cadaverinis? Who are they? A scary bunch of people, that's who. You're a cop, and you're scared? What's that about? Trust me, it doesn't matter if you're a kid or a cop, these guys are scary. There's some serious clout in the criminal underworld. You can't touch them, they've got too much smaller. Smaller? They pretty much control all the cash on the city's black market. Black market, huh? That includes the lender, I take it. Sure, no one turns up to Porta Cadaverini, and I mean no one. First thing. So we asked the granddaughter of some mafia boss then. Yeah, and everyone knows how much Bruto loves his little girl. She means everything to him. So, how did she end up at Tenderlander? I don't know, pal. But I heard she and the boss of Tenderlander are pretty tight. Tight? That's what it said in a file I read related to Maggie's case. It was like a pretty important clue. About this. What? I'm trying to consider them again this far right now, so this is it. This stupid name, I remember now. I thought so. Here it comes. Just not to yourself and keep me in the dark, Nick. What's going on? It's okay, Maya, you don't have to cry about it. The name scribbled on the sports paper and written on the CD. That's the name of the virus. MC Bomber. What? Yeah, the virus that just infected every computer in the station, pal. It's MC Bomber. Can you give us any more details, please? We already knew about the MC Bomber virus from a while back. A group of criminals issued a series of demands to the head honchos of law enforcement. They threatened to release the virus in their demand, if their demands weren't met. Who are they? I don't know. Some hotshots from the criminal underworld would be my guess. And now then, Now the virus has been released, huh? Yeah, it's in every computer in every public office in the city. Everyone's going nuts. They are hopping around like they're dancing at the carnival. All this stuff with criminals and viruses, it almost feels like we're in a sci-fi movie. Apparently the programmer who made the virus was a real genius or something. The focus point right now is tracing the route of this virus on the black market. Maybe someone put this virus up for sale? Yeah, and because this one's so powerful, they're estimating its price tag was in the millions of dollars, pal. Millions? A virus can be worth that much? Ah, I cannot believe it. I must forget the most important thing. And that is... You know, the lunchbox. How did everything go? The lunchbox? You remember, the weenies. Oh yeah, those weenies. So, how did my weenies taste when they went down the hatch? Huh? Well, it was delicious. Yeah, that's what she said. Really? Well, exactly. Don't worry about it, pal. I figured something would happen, so I came prepared. Prepared? What do you mean? I made a jumbo lunchbox. Oh. Do me a favor again, huh, pal, and deliver this. Sure is a heavy burden, in more ways than one. I'm just imagining my gaze little eyes sparkling with joy when you bring her that. Weenies again, Nick. Tell me we don't have to eat all these too. I really can't eat anymore. It's just there. Oh wait, wrong way. Can I do this now? Okay, yeah, thought so. So how about you tell me what kind of trouble Mr. was in? I'm sorry sir, but we don't deal with troubleshooting here. Perhaps you'd like to speak to someone in customer service? What's she talking about? I guess I'd better just take a shot and see where it gets me. Miss Basil, let me ask you something. Did Mr. X's troubles have something to do with this? Why is that? Bunch of horse racing tickets, all losing ones. So many tickets you could get $1 at the recycling center. You good people are very, very bad. Cashing in on others' misfortunes is immoral. Is that a whiff of hypocrisy I smell? Well, what is the relevance of these tickets? Victim is a Glen Elg. He had a gambling habit, didn't he? I don't think that's a logical conclusion based on the facts. Everyone likes to go to the races from time to time. Yeah, but not everyone buys this many tickets. Anyway, I don't believe that proves anything on its own. You're right, but I'm not through yet. The Elk's camping wasn't restricted to horse race, was it? Unlike the... because you could lose a second. Oh, wait. There. Military horse racing, he bought a lot of tickets and lost a lot of times. It's got to have hurt his wallet pretty bad, don't you think? Maybe bad enough to be the cause of some pretty serious trouble, perhaps. No! You're right, Glenn did have a gambling habit. You good people must not follow his example, do you understand? Trust me, even if I wanted to, I don't exactly have the money to buy any. But if you win, there's no problem, is there? But Glenn had a winning ticket, didn't he? For $500,000. Yeah, but... it's hard to imagine how he could have been in trouble then, isn't it? It's true that Mr. Elk won $500,000 in the end. But that was his first stroke of good luck. He was in deep trouble before that. Deep trouble? What do you mean? His real problem was with someone or something more terrifying and ferocious. Okay. Psycho met with someone on the day he was killed. He even made a note on this calendar about the meeting. Meet with the tiger. Is there elements of that? Are you trying to suggest Glenn was meeting him to discuss his death? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But I have never heard of anything about this tiger before. Maybe he's not even human. Maybe he really is a tiger. Not a problem, no problem, but just he really is expecting me to buy such messed up logic. In that case, I think it's time to introduce you to the tiger. Queer Tiger, aka the Tiger, is the boss of a loan office called Tenderlander. This is who Mr. Elk met with on the day of his murder. The only thing a loan shark would talk with him about would be his death. No. It's true that Glenn had racked up quite a bit of debt from his gambling habit. About $100,000, I think. $100,000? Ouch. But I heard he won the lottery, so he should have been in the clear. Shame I couldn't get a bit of that good luck. Okay. So the guy got lucky and won the lottery. But what if he hadn't won? What was his plan then? Well, this isn't easy to say, but he said he would use his talents to repay the money. His talents? I suspect he was talking about programming. But the computer program is worth $100,000. Perhaps you good people should leave so I can get back to my work. I'm so close to cracking her. Programming question, was it by any chance this? Well, this is it, isn't it? The virus that's infecting computers worldwide as we speak. MC Bomber. No! Glenn's head had more processing power than any computer, but had been infected with a gambling virus. Glenn was in too deep. He was in debt. Yes, $100,000 in debt. Not an easy amount to repay. So, he said he was taking on some extra work, something a bit risky. Risky? How? He was going to become a waitress at Tribia. Where did you come up with these ideas? It's safe to say Mr. Elk was the creator of this virus, huh? MC Bomber virus, yes. He was a welcome genius, in a bad sort of way of course, but still genius. Something like that would probably fetch several $1 million on the black market. Inconceivable, Kamshi was right for a change. This date, December 3rd, there's the mark on his calendar. That was his deadline for repaying his debts. I guess we won't be needing these horse riding tickets anymore. He's a trash can, Nick. Oh man. Can I do this now? Okay, I can. You said that bandits around your head was from an operation. Also said you suffered a fatal injury to the head, correct? Yes, the operation was very difficult, apparently. Now by fatal injury, you mean you were hurt very badly somehow, right? The injury in question have something to do with this. doesn't make sense. Wait, what? Oh. Okay. Unlock the achievement that I thought I needed to unlock something else for, but okay. Or present something else for. Okay. Oh, wait. Yeah, of course. I'm done. I have here a car repair bill. From this it seems pretty obvious that this car was involved in an accident. You see that? This place made out to the Cadaverinis. Yes, it is. I don't think I ever introduced myself. Tell me, what do the Cadaverinis have to do with me? Something tells me she's not about to say hi and introduce herself. Alright then. Relationship with the Cadaverinis is very strong, and this is why. Exactly where you are, Viola Cadaverini. You sustained that injury in a traffic accident, didn't you? Happened about 4 months ago. I was driving in one of our family's cars when someone pulled out in front of me. It was some other bike or something like that, I don't remember it much. Anyway, I swerved to try to avoid it, but I took a blow to the head. A bad one. Yeah, I can imagine. So what happened to the person on the bike? Guessing they didn't get away with injuring while Cadaverini, right? I don't know what happened to them. They ran away, or so I heard. Ran away? If they'd stayed, I'd have... Is it possible the person who committed the hit and run have been? It's this man, wasn't it? He was the cause of your accident. Wasn't it Don Tiger? I refuse to believe it. We collided, the motorbike and my car. Don Tiger isn't injured at all, is he? The Tiger who caused by the crash, I can feel it. Plus, one of her locks just broke, so she must suspect it was him too. I'm sorry, Mr. Cadaverini. I have proof that Tiger was involved in a traffic accident on his bike. They have a motorbike, but the Tiger rides around on a scooter, doesn't he? And you'll notice that the front wheel guard is badly damaged. It's Cadaverini. You know the truth, don't you? His repair bill was paid by Brio Tiger. Cadaverinis have known for ages who caused the accident, haven't they? It's possible, perhaps. Somewhere inside me I know that may be true. Anyway. But Don Tiger still saved my life. The operation was very complicated. It was very expensive. How much are we talking? Very expensive. He was kind of hesitant about giving me an actual figure. I should back off. Well, anyway. It was a Tiger who paid for it, right? After I recovered, Don Tiger told me that he paid for the operation because he cared about me. I believe him. Really? Do you honestly believe that to be true? Do you want to know what I think? I think the reason he paid for the operation wasn't because of you, but someone else. Perhaps I shouldn't be saying this, but Grandfather, Bruto Cadavrini, controls all of TBS gas, right? And you are his beloved pride and joy. Sure, I don't know exactly how much the operation cost, but if you weren't the granddaughter of Mr. Cadavrini, do you think Mr. Tiger would have paid the money? $1 million. Okay. $1 million. 4 months ago, I was in a traffic accident. That's why I needed the operation. When I woke up, they told me it was nothing serious. Simple procedure. Oh, really? Well, I guess if she recovered in 4 months, it couldn't have been too big. They said the operation cost $1 million. $1 million bucks? My grandfather ordered Don Tiger to pay $1 million in compensation. Compensation, huh? It's underworld lingo for paying money to settle a score. Basically, pay or get into some serious trouble. $1 million bucks? This to be related to our poisoning case somehow. I wanted to believe him. I wanted to trust what Don Tiger said. He said it had nothing to do with my grandfather being Bruto Cadavrini. I wanted to believe he helped me because he cared about me, not about my grandfather. Aw, but I knew that wasn't really true. Wow, I'm so sorry. What he did to get the money was evil. He said it was all for me, so I helped him. You helped him? In what way? Here, take these. These medical papers. I'm Bruto Cadaverini's grandfather. He had to pay compensation. He was made an offer. He simply couldn't refuse. Wow, I feel so bad for Viola. It's inexcusable. Huh? There are two things that I consider inexcusable. Poisoning and betrayal. Only a coward would hurt people using either of these tactics. Is everything alright, Nick? We should get going. Right after we finish our espresso. Yeah. I won't need to convince Viola of anything else, so I guess I can get rid of this. What am I supposed to do now? Oh, okay. Hey, Poncho, I have been waiting for you to return. It's Armstrong. Good timing. I was hoping to find you here. I'd like to ask you a few questions. Well, he hasn't got anything to say to you fellas. Ah, it's Xeneop. You're calling me Xeneop. Ah, come out from under the table already, Maya. Okay, hand it over. What? You wanna play games with me? I recommend that. The medical papers, now. Uh-oh, I think he wants to kind of bring his papers back. Give me this. The $1 million medical papers. Didn't really trusted you. That's why she said that she helped you. Forget about it. This girl's dumber than an eggplant. You just wanna know what's sad? I'll tell you what's sad. And it's only her face. She thinks she's got power because she's Bruto's little girl. Now that's sad. I can't let you have these papers. Tomorrow in court, I'm going to expose what you did to get for 1 million years to pay this off. Are you crazy or something? I don't care if you want to give it to me or not. There's 2 of us here. You get that? You get that? 2. Oi. Mr. Armstrong. Forgive me. I cannot argue with him. Jesus, what the fuck? That really hurt. Is that all you got? I'll be taking those papers now. Armstrong, get that lighter. Wait! Don't take it too hard. Phoenix, right? Well, that's fucked. so stupid. I shouldn't have let my guard down. Well, that the cases got slightly harder, huh? Small papers were vital evidence. Fuck, man. Hold it, pal. Detective Gumshoe. The detective. You think you're gonna stop me, Copper? Wait it, wow. Whoa. Come on, Gumshoe. Keep it together. You guys, get out of here. Leave this guy to me. But go, pal, and take this. If you get hurt, who's gonna look after Maggie, huh? Alright, thanks, Gumshoe. Wait, Nick, don't leave me behind. Okay. I'll get even with that guy tomorrow in court. And the lender is going down. Okay. Oh, fuck. Okay. Good morning, Mr. Wright. Good morning, Maggie. So, what do you think is going to happen today, sir? Yesterday's session didn't go so well and ended on a giant mystery. That's true. And we still haven't solved a single part of it yet. Are you okay, Nick? Huh? Oh, yeah, of course. I saw that. That's a little flash of doubt in your eyes. No, that wasn't doubt. That was determination. Wouldn't I believe you? Near time, Maggie. You'd better get going to the defendant's seat. Roger, don't let me down, Mr. Wright. I'm counting on you. Hey, pal. Hold up. Oh, fuck. Okay. Hey, Detective Gumshoe. Quit stressing Maggie out. She doesn't need that. How did you know she was stressed? Tossing through the doorway. Oh. You look like you lost the case already. Show a bit of confidence, will you, pal? Here, maybe this will help. Huh? Have you taken up aromatherapy too? Not in a million years, pal. Don't tell me that you don't remember this thing. Come and think of it. It doesn't look like one of those aromatherapy bottles. This is a small... Fuck. The small bottle that turned up in Tribulations' kitchen a couple of days ago. Oh, look at all the... Oh, yeah. Finally got the analysis results back from the lab. So, what is it? Is it the poison? I'm afraid not, pal. It's... medication. Medication. Yeah, for years. Topical use only, apparently. For years? You mean... Yeah, it's the medication Glenn Alec was using for his ruptured eardrum. What was Glenn Alec's ear medicine doing in the kitchen? Yeah, what the fuck. Well, about the unidentified fingerprints and someone screwed up, so they only had time to analyze the contents of the bottle. Another hour and they might have gotten something on the prints, but that's going to weaken its impact as a piece of evidence. Okay, pal, this is it. Make sure your defense is impregnable today, got it? Today's trial. I'm gonna expose that guy for what he's done, or my name isn't Phoenix, right? First time session for a trial of Maggie Bird. Defense is ready, Your Honor. Ready and waiting as always, Your Honor. Very good, then we'll get underway at once. Yesterday we heard... Oh. God damn it. Yesterday we heard the testimony of Mr. Peter Kudo. He claims to have witnessed the defendant putting a powder into the victim's coffee. However, the witness's testimony was plagued with a number of problems. Mark on the rim of the cup shows that the victim drank from it with his right hand. But according to the old man's testimony, he picked it up with his left hand. Thank you, Mr. Godot. Furthermore, according to the witness's account, victim was listening to the radio with an earpiece in his left ear. Yet, the victim's left eardrum was ruptured, which made him effectively deaf in that ear. It's amazing how many contradictions a single case can have, huh, Nick? Allow me to enlighten you, Your Honor. The world, you see, keeps turning and we must turn with it. You lost me already, Mr. Goddard. Don't let the mysteries of yesterday mystify you today. And losers think like that. You've got to change with the times. That's one of my rules. I'm implying that you've resolved these contradictions. You know the answers to these riddles. Old guy was just throwing seed in here. Stories of the same. And today I'll prove it. Very well. Let first witness take the stand. And you are? Bonjour everyone. I'm John Armstrong, the owner the owner and head chef of La Tribulations restaurant. Enchanté. Hey Otero, what's up? Forgive me for asking witness, but are you a woman? La la, monsieur. As you can see, I am a leopard and perky gentleman, no? The day of the incident, you were in the Tribulations kitchen. Isn't that right? Monsieur Manger. Everything feels right. Ha. Wow, he's totally on pace. Doesn't anything intimidate this guy? Very well, your testimony please, witness. Please tell the court what happened that day at Tribulations. Oh, you volunteers. It's on SL1 80%? Poggers. Nice. It all happened. There were just 2 customers in my restaurant. I remember I was experimenting with some new art deco that day. Like having a large mirror between the tables, for example. Wait, perhaps that was all the man was looking at. Look up the earpiece and large glasses, you would have seen everything in reverse. None. What? Mirror? Wait, grand mirror. The most enormous mirror. Shit, until the mystery disappears. Here in the older ones. It's not too bad. Like, you can pretty much almost do it the same way as you would on a regular run. Like, what I did for SL1 is that, for Ingward, go down the stairs a bit, so that the ghost aggro, then, like, run up the stairs again, throw up one black firebomb, yeah, to Ingward, then shoot the bow once. That makes him properly aggroed, and then you can just throw another 3 or 4, I don't remember, and then he's dead. You basically have to buy some black firebombs in the sense from the merchant there. Like I said, the world keeps turning, so roll with it. That would explain the coffee cup and the earpiece conundrum. The mirror would have made everything appear back to front. What the heck, it's way too early in the morning for this to be happening to me. No, that is right. You may begin your cross-examination. Bruh. Change them in. Fair. But also, like, it'll be a different way, I guess, like soul spending and stuff. So, something might not exactly be correct. I think I buy 25, maybe, and that should be enough for everything in the rest of the game. You can also like use some of them for killing giant blacksmiths. And who were the two customers exactly? Mice, of course. The young man who died. And the other, not so young man. You're referring to yesterday's witness, I presume. What about the other man, Maggie says. She saw at the table. Hi Shadow, what's up? And yeah, but yeah. Unfortunately, he does have the best weapon for a Sylvan. And those maybe Mr. Armstrong isn't planning to disclose his existence. Need some hard evidence first before we can bring him up, don't we? Guess I'll just have to try a different approach for the time being. You're experimenting with some article? How come I never heard about that before today? You're not familiar with the language of interior design, monsieur? Please stay on topic. Now, why didn't you tell the court about this before? I did, just a few moments ago. Excuse me, Mr. Armstrong. This Zico you mentioned. Are you referring to some sort of decoction? No, Art Deco, it's a style of design, Your Honor. Yeah. Talking about interior design. Walls, ceilings, carpets, that kind of thing. Silk from unrising souls. Yeah, exactly. Didn't this? I mean, I guess, but not really. But yeah, I don't know. Yes, of course, that deco. I was trying to achieve more effeminate look for my restaurant. I was planning the most bold remodeling of the decor. How big of a mirror are we talking about here? With something about 4 meters wide and about 2 meters high. See, 1 meter is about 1 yard. All the glass is in a frame. That's huge. I was intending to install it on the ceiling eventually. The ceiling? Was there a mirror on the ceiling? I don't remember. Might not. But I decided not to go through with it in the end. Should I ask him more about the mirror or not? If you really had such a large mirror in the restaurant, someone would have noticed it. There's something about a mirror in... Nothing about a mirror in Mr. Kudos or Mikey Bird's testimonies. But... Objection! You didn't ask, right? You have only yourself to blame for such sloppy work. But... The mirror was delivered to Tribulations the day before the incident. Really? As Mr. Armstrong testified, he was carrying out some design changes. As it turned out, he didn't actually use the mirror in the end. This just doesn't add up. Even if the mirror was delivered to Tribulations, it doesn't prove that it was in this restaurant on the day of the crime. If you want to doubt someone, try to look in the mirror. I'm sure the person looking back at you will be dubious enough. The witness yesterday had seen the victim reflected in a mirror. Normally, I'd expect people to know the difference between a reflection and a real object. Normally? How does normality come into this? It's lame, right? Even for you. Huh? Are you trying to say that if something isn't normal, it isn't possible? Is that it? Where's the lift? Fork-headed lawyer and the top-knot chick over there. And the ungodly cool guy with the mask over here. Well tried? Not the hair. I do not have a top knot. Scott is correct. Lack of normality is no basis for discounting an argument. Again, logic as one latte. Because reasons? I don't know. Most like, probably like just messing with it. Don't know. Everything. He would have seen everything in reverse. Oi. Hey Nick, we should take a second and think about what old C said in his testimony. Let me phrase it again. He saw everything he described reflected in a mirror, and everything he said he saw on the left was actually on the right, huh? That clears up all the problems with his testimony, I guess, or does it? Ah, it's kinda hard to believe everything is the fault of a mirror, but I think old CD saw everything through a reflection. Indeed, it would explain all the contradictions in his testimony. This makes the situation worse for Maggie. I'm not sure. But like, you have to consider the fact that there has been quite some time between DS1 and DS3 in game. Like, there's all the like ash and stuff. It's just, yeah, it's just like, I don't know exactly how much in the future it is, but it's probably a ton in the future. Yeah. Something in that old man's testimony. We just gotta dig deeper. Okay, what the hell? Guess that's fine. Fuck. Am I supposed to? Oh. My brain just doesn't work, I guess. I'll pick up the earpiece and the HMD. Let's think back over Mr. Kudo's testimony for a second, shall we? To summarize, we're told both the HMD and the earpiece were on the victim's left side. Now, if Mr. Kudo saw that as a reflection in a mirror, it means both the HMD and the earpiece were actually on the victim's right side. Except that, you see, monsieur, now that you think about it, it's not so hard, I know. Unfortunately, that's where we run into a monumental contradiction with the facts. Mr. Kudo really did see everything in a mirror. Why is it that the HMD is now on the wrong side of his head? Order, Mr. Wright is correct. If the witness generally observed the victim reflected in a mirror, then we would expect the victim's earpiece to have been on his right eye. How bitter. That's right. You should have a taste of this bitterness. I'll calm you down in no time. Are we talking about your coffee or something completely different? I don't understand the way the witness thinks. How he thinks. Remember this, I presume. Yeah, I broke the way, sorry about it. I mean, it's a close sworn testimony. Exactly. The old man has one very curious habit, other than throwing seeds. The more of an impression something makes, the more muddled his mind makes it. And what's the most striking thing about Mr. Alec? Yeah, it's the victim's eyepiece. That's my point. The old man strikes again. Snagg's HMD made a big impression on the old man. I saw the earpiece and those newfangled spectacles like he was... spectacles he was wearing. Oh yes, they were both on his left ear, do you hear? His left ear. Well, try it. It's the worst but best impression of Kudo ever. Oh, I really thought he was all silly for a minute there. Go to Scoot. I must agree that yesterday's witness was irresponsible rushing much of his testimony. Nick, looks like the boil of contradiction you found is just a rash. A mirror can't be beaten by a handful of seeds, nor can it lie. So, what exactly was the old man looking at? Fill us in, Mr. Armstrong. Go on, tell the court. We are all ears. Oh, I can explain. Please, if you will look at the plans of the restaurant. Lords, is everyone sitting comfortably? A mirror, it was in the middle of the restaurant, dividing into two halves. There is only one seat from which you could have seen an image of the victim. So it was a seat at the table next to the victims. That was where the old man was sitting. What the fuck is the point of the partitions if you can still see them like that? Like what? What the fuck? After the terrible incident occurred, I moved the mirror so it was not in the way. But naturally I did not touch anything else. Oh man. I see no problems with the explanation we have just heard. On the table next to the victims, Mr. Kudo could have seen the victim in the mirror. But the naughty little coquette I am, confusing all the men like this. Don't worry about it. You can keep up, except for the guy breaking out in a cold sweat over there again. I hate that guy. Said you didn't touch anything else apart from the mirror. Are you quite sure about it? Volunteers, of course. Very well, Mr. Wright. Because explanation, if you please. Bruh. What? The fuck, dude? Surround this by me again. The mirror was here. The mirror was here, correct? Wait, really? But I know if I were you, I wouldn't have put a mirror there. It would be in the way. Objection! Look who's talking, right? Huh? You're obstructing my view, among other things. But this is my seat in the courtroom. European charm is that it gives you the impression that you are the only customer. Never placing a mirror in that spot would hardly be in the way. Unlike you, right? I tell you, monsieur, the mirror was there, in the middle of the restaurant. And where would that be? Blah. Look how you lean towards me. Always attracting the younger boys. Maybe I should keep you in suspense a little longer. Don't tell the court what you know at once. Attract someone. Do you know? Handsome. Shall I see it too? PS4 back so you can play nice. I still don't even have the game. I kind of want it, but I also don't know if I want it. Maybe someday. It's not a priority at least, right now. I'm already seeing a very hot someone, so I'm afraid you'll be waiting for a long time. Yeah, she has mocha cream skin and cappuccino perfume. Free game next month. Oh nice. Oh nice, actually. But fuck, next month yeah, shit. Just when I'm about to like start focusing more on school stuff. Oh well. Bien, I will tell you. There was only one seat from which you could have seen. So why can you only see the victim from that particular seat? Yes, monsieur, it is obvious now. If you look at the panels, you will understand. The victim could have been reflected in a mirror like so. If you were sitting at the table next to him, you would see everything, you know. So as to see the old city was sitting on that day, when the poisoning happened. Someone was sitting at the table next to the victim. Why does it seem kinda odd? Did you move the mirror while Mr. Kudo was off calling the police? Oh, excitement. I carried it out of the restaurant then. You moved a huge mirror like that all by yourself. What can I say? I know how to pick things up and some. Hehe. You're actually wanted something. Well, given the witness physique, I suppose it is possible. Did you move everything else from the crime scene, Stormtrooper? Look like the obliging type, no? Are you sure about that? It has nothing except the mirror. Except right. Is there something the witness has said that doesn't match the crime scene? Yeah, there is. I just can't put my finger on what exactly. Suffering from a case of heartburn, right? Oh, just the thing for that. An oil with golden myrrh and frankincense. Add a few drops to your coffee and voila, enjoy. Focus, Phoenix. Breathe, I need to ignore those and just find some evidence. It's pretty strange though, isn't it? I mean, nobody mentioned anything about the really large mirror. I think someone would have, but Mackie didn't, and neither did old CD. And the only logical explanation is there was no mirror inside Tribulations that day. Now I just got to prove it somehow. What the fuck? Okay. This piece of evidence contradicts with the testimony we have heard, you know? One photo. Yes, this photo clearly shows something that theoretically should not exist. What on earth do you mean by that, Miss Wright? Should not exist? Ah, sounds like you're describing yourself right. Wow. Now then, if the defense would please clarify its statement. Why is there something that shouldn't exist in this photo? That's what should not be in the picture. I'm sorry, I'm afraid you've lost me. I suppose it's up to me to clarify the defense's claim. Something that shouldn't exist clearly. Wait, I've changed my mind, you know. Last thing I need right now is a scalding hot coffee shop. How the okay, hold on. What the fuck? Oh, fuck. Oh. I think it's pretty obvious that this is what should not be in the picture. The base. Possible connection does that have with this witness's testimony? Governor, telling you that there should have been no base on this table. It very clearly contradicts with this piece of evidence. There is one thing that was clearly demonstrated by yesterday's testimony. He could have broke the vase that was on the table where he was sitting. Yet, as the court can see, there's an unbroken vase on the table next to the victim. Why? Mr. Kudo was not, in fact, sitting at the table next to the victim at all. Don't be an idiot, right? That's impossible. That's the seat the only one Kudo could have seen the victim's reflection from. Exactly. There's only one conclusion we can draw from this contradiction. There's no mirror in Trivia that day. Your testimony, Mr. Armstrong, is an elaborate lie. And yeah. Don't try to confuse the court, right? Obviously, the witness cleaned up the vase. But the police were taking their time getting to the crime scene. Unfortunately, Mr. Goddard, that doesn't quite work for me. Mr. Armstrong already testified to the contrary in his own words. I did not touch anything else except that mirror. Well, witness, what do you have to say for yourself? I was right. There was no mirror in the restaurant today. In light of this revelation, we return back to the original problem. Why did the victim have an earpiece in an ear in which he couldn't hear? You only get one shot in life. There's no turning back. You want to claim that the mirror wasn't there, right? Then this problem is all yours. How do you explain what the old man saw? If I can answer this, then I'll be that much closer to the truth. I can feel it. It'll be okay. Can you really solve this contradiction, Nick? More than just this one contradiction, Maya. What do you mean? Remember what Maggie told us? There was another man at the victim's table. There was a sample CD on the victim's table. It all flies in the face of Mr. Kudo's testimony. And I think I know the reason why nothing in this case is enough. Well, Mr. Wright, let's hear your answer. Yes, Your Honor. The reason behind all the contradictions in Mr. Kudo's testimony is simple. It was a phony. Really, Mr. Kudo made a mistake. That's right. You're the one who brought up all these contradictions. And if you're trying to tell us the old man just made a mistake, we can wrap up this case right now with a guilty verdict. How about it, Mr. Wright? Can I just declare your client guilty? This is the best you can come up with, Nick. I believe we are looking at this the wrong way. It's actually the doctor's mistake. What? Yes, the doctor got the wrong ear. Well, I believe we saw another report yesterday. One that said the victim's left eardrum was ruptured and had medicine in it. Beginning to wonder if it's not your eardrum that's ruptured, Mr. Wright. This case is riddled with contradictions. Yet there's one very simple answer that clears them all up. And what is that? The incident Mr. Kudo witnessed and the incident the victim experienced. were two completely different events. What? Yes, the victim that Mr. Kudo saw wasn't Mr. Glenn Elg at all. It was an imposter, a phony pretending to be Mr. Elg. Obviously, unlike the victim, there was nothing wrong with the imposter's left eardrum. That's how he ended up wearing the earpiece in his left ear by mistake. Oof. Order in the court. Settle down or I'll kill the courtroom. Quiet, cramps. Why don't you clear out of here, huh? What did you say? Right, are you saying that what Mr. Kudo saw was a setup? Yes. Someone pretended to be Glenn Elg and acted out the whole coffee poison. All for the express purpose of creating a witness out of one Mr. Victor Kudo. It's real, right? Why would anyone want to do that? Isn't it obvious? The thing Mr. Kudo was most insistent about in his testimony was... It's so hard to believe that, but... There's one and only one reason to show Mr. Kudo this fake poisoning. Show Maggie Bird in the act of poisoning the coffee. Are you insinuating that the waitress in the old man's story was fake as well? It's true that there were no other customers in the restaurant at the time, but... It's also true that the chef was there. How he would have noticed what was happening. That's right. Well, witness? If your restaurant really was the scene of such theatrings, you would have known about it, correct? Oh la la. This is the most difficult for me. No, it's quite simple. All you have to do is testify. You're under oath, after all. Was there, in fact, a phony at Tribulations that day? Defense demands that Miss Armstrong tell the whole truth about what happened. Defense's request for additional testimonies is accepted. He accurately explained in detail the events in the restaurant that day. Oh, The victim, Monsieur Elk, he came to my restaurant alone. I remember Loudman arrived not long after him. There were no other customers. When he got word, he won the lottery. When Elk became very excited. It was approximately 5 minutes later that the poisoning incident occurred. None. There was no time for a phony to do acting. So we're clear, there was no mirror in the restaurant after all. You must mind if I pardon. Forgive me, Your Honor. I lied because I wanted this mess to be cleared up quickly. What you have just done is commit perjury, Mr. Armstrong. I will decide how to punish you later. For now, we will hear your cross-examination, Mr. Wright, if you please. Took that perjury charge a bit too well. Guessing he'll be in more serious trouble after this cross-examination. Was he alone at his table as well? Might so be. I saw him from the kitchen. The defendant, Miss Ward, remembers it differently. He swears that there was another man at the victim's table. Unfortunately for you, Wright, yesterday's witness was also testified that the victim was alone. You know, seeing you squirm like that reminds me of a certain coffee's bittersweet bite. What kind of coffee has he been drinking? Not coffee, it's love. It's love that's bittersweet. You might say it makes a person wise all of a sudden. Wild man, you mean Victor Kudo, correct? Oh yeah, it comes often for my special coffee. I drank pure coffee once, Mr. Armstrong. It's special, I'll give you that. It's worth a sip just for the experience. Oh, you make me so happy, and sure, you're most welcome anytime. I said it was worth one sip, and nothing more. So old Mr. Kudo arrived at the restaurant around the same time as the victim. You wish to ask about his arrival in more detail. curiosity, about what time was it when Mr. Kudo arrived? Oh no, I cannot remember, monsieur. I believe we were told by a witness yesterday. I was suppose that too. Perhaps okay memory witness. The incident happened about 20 minutes before he arrived. Or after, what? The victim must have arrived between 2 PM and 10 PM, no? Just after 2, huh? Thank you for your help in jogging my memory, monsieur. You are wonderful. Hahaha, I can't sit here all the time and do nothing now, can I? Some of they will be added to the witness testimony. Surgeons, everything I do it for you. Merci bien. That's friends, isn't it? I'm glad at least one person is in a good mood. He's even humming a song to himself. Are you absolutely sure about that time? But I think really hard. I'm sure it was just after 2. Oh yeah. It's the time I stopped serving at a lunch menu. But right, I always break for lunch when the restaurants are serving their specials. I've been known to wind up a case or just to make it on time. Haha. I guess you should never get busy. Because between hungry just in his lunch. Oh, would you look at that? It's almost lunchtime already. Witness, get on with the testimony, please. So only customers were Mr. Kudo and the victim. How many times do you need to ask the same thing, it's right? You'd never catch me bringing the same blend twice. Huh? You're trying to establish the presence of a phony victim in the restaurant. You're wasting your time. You can't grind birdseed to make coffee, if you get my drift. There's a hole in this testimony somewhere, I'm sure of it. You see him? No, I was in the kitchen, but I heard him. Remember him shouting, yes, $500,000. Presumably the defendant heard that too, correct? Maggie, she looked like a poor little frightened dog. What about Mr. Kudo? Altman choked on some birdseed that got stuck in his throat. Seems we now have yet another incident on our hands. And what were you doing at that point? With any customers, you must have had time to kill. I'm a multi-talented woman, monsieur. Sorry, what do you mean? There is the renowned chef, John Armstrong, and a tragic poet, Clarice Armstrong. Clarice? Wait, I was writing a poem. Man, an angry tale of chef in $500,000 of debt. Looking for a man who won $500,000 on a lottery. It's called Pourquoi. Means why. Perhaps I could recite it for the cover. Please don't. You mean you contacted the police as soon as the incident occurred? As the old man called from the payphone. By your own arguments, right? The purpose of this funny victim's performance was so the old man would see it. In other words, once the incident occurred, this opportunity would completely disappear. Indeed. It seems a shadow of doubt has been lifted in this skip has. I guess Miss Armstrong is connected to this case now. Absolutely. Someone was impersonating Miss Elk and I refused to believe he was only this. He was there the whole time, after all. But if you're right, wouldn't Maggie have noticed too? She fell unconscious when the incident occurred, remember? You mean that's when Boris dad chased it out? You know for sure. Once I find a hole in this testimony. Oh wait, wasn't there a thing with something else? Which one was it? No, not that one. Fuck, man. Where was it?
Objection!
Or was it in the previous thing?
Objection!
What the fuck? Wait. And yes, I checked it because I don't know. Wait, did I? Yeah, I might speed on. God damn it, dude. Okay, whatever. I'm afraid I finally got to your misconception. Okay, what do you mean? I'm in question the victim was listening to the radio with his earpiece. The show he was listening to was Millionaire Radio. Each week they announced the winning numbers of the $500,000 lottery ticket. Wait, that must be like so much money I'll go listening to. And see the problem with this testimony, Mr. Wright. I wonder. You said the victim arrived at your restaurant after 2 PM, correct? Oi, I am sure of it. Remember it perfectly now. Right was that time, because I had just finished serving the lunch menu. Good point, right? If you have one. That show is broadcast live at 1:30 PM. It claims to be the most thrilling 10 minutes of your life. It's on the air at 1:30. Now supposedly, the victim made some noise when it was announced that he had won. Okay. And yet I kept on believing his crime show would have occurred after 2 PM. Because the show had already finished more than 30 minutes earlier by that point in time. No one. This victim we've been told about has done nothing but be the impossible. Listening to the radio with a ruptured eardrum. Catching a show that was already over. There's only one conclusion you can draw from these facts. This victim was an imposter acting out the poison 30 minutes after the real murder. Yes, there were 2 Glen Elks in Tribia on that day. The real Glen Elk, now dead, having been poisoned by the real killer. And the phony Glen Elk acting out the events for Mr. Kudo to witness. It certainly seems that way. I mean, if that wasn't the case, how could you explain the time discrepancy? But performance, right? You were almost on a roll. But sadly, You lack the rock-hard foundation of rhythm to build your soul. What is this? Music Theory 101? Let's recap. According to your imaginative theory, it's not just after 2 PM. Phony Elk is performing a play for the benefit of Mr. Kudo. How do you explain then where the real Clan Elk is? I don't believe I have the spell this out logo. However, at the time the real Clan Elk was already dead. Certainly the obvious conclusion.
Objection.
Thank you, Wright. That's exactly what I was hoping you would say. What? Now, I presume you can prove this theory of yours. Can you explain where the missing corpse went to? The missing corpse? According to the old man's testimony, there was only one other customer there. The customer was the phony elk, Grand Elk. Then where did the killer hide the body of the real victim? Prosecution has a valid point, Mr. Wright. Your theory is to stand up to examination by the court. You must provide us with proof by answering the prosecution question. Where did the killer hide the body? Yes, Your Honor. The context should right. Let's hear some facts for once. Show the court a piece of evidence that proves where the body was hidden. Evidence? What's with the intense pressure in here all of a sudden? I thought I had him with that contradiction. They turned it all around and backed me into a corner instead. Well, Mr. Wright, the court will now hear the defense's theory and evidence. First, where was the body of the real Mr. concealed? It would have been too dangerous to take the body outside. Obviously, the body must have been hidden somewhere inside Tribulations. Interesting. But where could the body have been hidden inside a restaurant? Perhaps you would care to show the cause on these plans, Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. Exact location where the body was concealed inside Tribulations. The body was hidden here. I see. A supposition. The real question is, can you back it up? Where's the evidence that proves the body was hidden in that location? Is there evidence? Oh, there is. Armstrong, do you recognize this bubble? No. I have never seen that ugly bubble before in my life. Now use your very best bubbles, monsieur. The highest quality of only for me. Where was that ball found, Mr. Wright? Interestingly enough, Your Honor, it was found in the kitchen of Tribulations. Great. But I only ever used these bottles for my aromatherapy oils. But this bottle doesn't contain aromatherapy oil, Mr. Armstrong. No, it contains a medication. What kind of medication? I'm sure everyone remembers, don't they? And Mr. Elk visited an Otta clinic and was given medication that day. You can't be serious. The defense had the contents of the bottle analyzed and I have the lab results here. The contents of the bottle that matches the prescription that was given to Mr. Elk. Then his murderer hid the body in the restaurant kitchen, at which time this bottle fell out of the victim's pocket. Mr. Armstrong, when the incident occurred, didn't you say you were in the kitchen? Oh mon dieu. Yes, you know what I'm talking about. What I'm about to say. It was you who hid the victim's body. You did a fine job pretending to defend my client, Maggie Bird. However, you were setting her up to take the fall behind the poor girl's back. No. Order. This is an extraordinary development. Witness, did you murder Mr. Elk? Never, I could not do such an horrible thing. No. What the? It's good. The bitterness. Every time I get lied to, I always down a mug of coffee. It's one of my rules. You have the slightest idea how many cups you've had by now? Then I like to do the same with the person who lied to me. I like to take them down with my empty cup. Listen up, Jeff. How about a brand new flavor in your earby? My age's deficient friend. Your voice demand pardon. Please, you must hear me out. It is the app. Listen to me. Por favor. Yo hablo español, Miss Armstrong, and por favor is Spanish. I'm only going to ask you once. Did you do it? None, absolutely none. Let's hear it. You get one shot, right, Gramps? Witness, the court will permit you a chance to make one final statement. If you lie under oath again, Mr. Gordon's coffee mug awaits you. As is my gavel. Oi, it is clear. As they always say in the movies, I've got a bad feeling about this. Very well, begin your final testimony, Mr. Armstrong. It's true, I ate La Body in the kitchen. A man forced me to do it, I had no choice. I had to go along with him because there was a reason why I could not refuse. But I did not kill him, I swear it, you must believe me. Forced? By who? I cannot say, or I will be erased. That's a very different question then. When Mr. Alec died, was he really the only person at his table? There was another man. I knew it. Like he was telling the truth. You may cross-examine the witness on Mr. Wright. This is one more thing I need to do. I gotta break this guy and get him to tell us the name of the real killer. Did you carry the body by yourself? Oi, I carried it. And I carried Maggie too. Maggie too? When she saw a victim collapse, she fainted. I could not leave her there. But why did you hide the bodies? What man? Who was he? No, I cannot say. I fear for my life. He's really scared. Just have to put the words in his mouth, Nick. Yeah, you're right. If he won't tell me, I'll tell him. So why would you go along with this man? And what reason would that be, Mr. Armstrong? You know, Monsieur. Yes. Surely you cannot expect a young maiden to talk about such an embarrassment. Maiden? You're a bit old to get away with that. And a bit too male. I can't finish the cross-examination without establishing his reason. So I'll just have to prove it with evidence. So, you're claiming that all you did was hide the bodies, is that correct? Oui, that's right. If we are to believe you, Miss Armstrong, you must tell the court everything. You must make clear of the identity of the man who ordered you to do this. He's already confessed this much, you might as well stop dancing around the real issue. Yeah, but he really doesn't want to tell us who the killer is. Let's look into him, Nick. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Isn't this dance of bring around the rosy, Mr. Armstrong? Is the man that you've been referring to? Who is that? I feel like I've seen him somewhere before. Oh, I don't know. Maybe a month ago in this very courtroom. His name is Frio Tiger. He's the manager of a loan office called Tenderlander. There's no point trying to hide the truth anymore, Mr. Armstrong. I know you couldn't go against Mr. Tiger, at least not while he had this on you. $500,000 loan from a black market loan shark. And you had no way of paying it back, did you? That's why you were forced to do anything this man told you. Oi, it is as you say. It's Armstrong. A tiger, he told me he was going to use my restaurant for a business rendezvous. On a day in question, he was meeting a live victim to demand that the area pay his loan. I don't know why it bent like that. This is what he told me to do, I had no choice. I carried La Pudi and La Inconscient Maggie out of the dining area and into the kitchen. After that, I just tried to forget what I had seen. I think we can now safely say that the man who forced your hand was Mr. Frio Tiger. I do have one further question for you, Mr. Armstrong. The poison and the lottery ticket that were found in the defendant's apron pocket. What was that you were doing as well? None, I knew nothing about that. Make it look like it's making you that died. I was not. This is speakable. Mr. Godot. You will summon this Frio Tiger as a witness. I doubt that can be arranged today, so we'll have to adjourn for now. Proceeding will continue tomorrow. "30 minutes. What? The trial will go on. I'll see to it myself. I need half an hour to get that guy on the stand. Not a minute more. How the... Don't sit back and relax it, right? No one knows if that chef is really telling the truth or not. This trial could still go either way. Very well. Request is granted, Mr. Godot. We will resume once Mr. Tiger is ready to take the stand. Until then, court is adjourned for 30-minute recess. So we're finally going to see the tiger on the stand. We must get this case won now, Nick. Wish I could agree. Huh? Now cross-examine Mr. Armstrong just now. He said he was just doing what the tiger told him to do. But Godot picked up on it, remember? He pointed out that without proof, we don't know if what he testified is the truth. You mean you think Mr. Armstrong was lying? I don't know, but if that's the line the prosecution takes, we could be in trouble. Being that we don't have the case making evidence we're going to need. Hey pal. Do you think it comes true? What are you so jumpy about it? Your hair standing on end. Hey, that's the pot calling the kettle back, little miss top knot. It's not a top knot. Never mind about the hair. Just calm down, alright? I can stand still when I don't have a job to do. I kinda get warned of. No kidding. Don't have something you need me to do, pal. Anything. Well, hey, I'm gonna take a trip back down to the precinct. I'll get some prints and ask for you if you got an hour. An hour? The trial will have her reconvened by then. But Nick, we still don't have a really decisive piece of evidence, right? True. Without some kind of trump card to pull out of the bag we are really stuck. You said you could get some fingerprint analysis done in an hour. You bet. In that case, would you mind checking the prints on this for me? If you're going back to the station anyway, could you find out whose prints are on this? Oh hey, that's the small ball I gave back to you this morning, right? Yeah, I think it's time we solved the last mystery of who the prints on it belonged to. Sure thing, pal. Actually, that's been annoying me too. Oh, I see. There are some scuffed moments in my run, to be honest. But I guess that's a good place to start. Okay, I get this stuff off the lab right away. So make sure you don't lose the case before I get back. I'm not a pro, definitely not. It's pretty much the final showdown, I guess. It's time to separate the phonies from the real guys. Like for example, my win was so scuffed because I wanted to test how the overclock would work. So I had to parry 6 times instead of 4 times. Because it did less damage. Court will now reconvene. Mr. Good, do you find this pretty tiger? I haven't tamed him for you. It's a 3-cup job, no problem. Tamed him? The guy's name may be Pretty Tiger, but come on. It's pretty lively. Be careful, he still bites. Very well, please show Mr. Tiger to the stand. Wait. Ah. Don't hide under the table, man. Unless there's room for me down there too. What you said to me? Nothing. I didn't say nothing, honest. Who could have guessed that Pierre would induce a bad Brooklyn Lads accent in the like a business decor, if you hear me. So who the hell called me into this hole? Was it you, Spiky? No, of course not. It was the judge. Your Honor. Oh dear, I seem to have dropped my pen. Where on earth is it? Don't mind me, just carry on proceeding as normal. That's it, we're doomed. Maybe you still hear me. But who the hell was that called me in here? There's no need to shout, we can all hear you. What did you say? There's no point struggling. You're caught in a snare. Relentless snare of the law. And I'm the one that hold you in. Too cool. Don't let him get the better of you, Nick. Let's start with the basics. You know about the incident in question, correct? Incident? I don't know nothing about no stinking incident, masked boy. You mean you didn't attend the previous trial of Maggie Bird? Maggie who? I've got more important things to do than watch courtroom dramas. Of course. Well, perhaps you could give your fair testimony then. Give us your testimony then. Timing thing just forward, couldn't repost. Worked for me so far. Yeah, the way I do it is just that I roll twice and then I walk instead of sprinting. And then oh my god, I read somehow my mind read parry instead of riposte. Do you want to like it right there? But yeah, the riposte thing, you don't have to worry about it if you go a different route. You can do, if you probably start with the battle axe, right? You can upgrade that to magic +5. You have the souls, if I recall. It's not even a problem, to be honest. And you can get the magic +5 battle axe by Gwyn, which means you don't have the 2-hand for the riposte, and it's the same amount of parries as the blacksmith giant hammer. Please tell us about what you did on the day of the murder. Phoenix Wright. He's the one who set this up, didn't you? He's gonna regret the day you ruffled the tiger's fur. You hear what I'm saying? Maybe I should have brought the diaper with me today. Get the grip, Nick. I know nothing about no murder. I was tied up with prisons in December last year. Spent all my time in my office. But well signed up to borrow cash from Tenderlander every single day. Don't check my alibi. Just ask Violetta. At last I found my pen. Very well then, Mr. Wright. You're crossing. What is it? Please, witness. If you could refrain from shouting like that. I know the kind of games that do. This guy in the blue place. The low life ain't no lawyer. He just punches away at stupid details till he wins. Said towering in the automata. Oh, nice. Did you like progress even further, or did you just get in? Because fuck. I don't remember how the events work, so I don't know what I can actually ask. Hold on. Okay. Internet's still over. I see. So I'm pretty sure you entered as 9S, right? Without, I'll try to say this in a as spoiler-free way as possible. When you get there as A2 some point in the line, some point down the line, you will have the possibility to read through a novel kind of thing, and I recommend you to read it. It's a long read, a really long read. It can take like probably 20 minutes or something, but it's a really good read. IMO. Olaf? Me? It's not smarty. Every time you ask me something that doesn't relate to this case, I'm gonna bill you $50,000 and you're gonna borrow the cash from me. That's one loan contract I refuse to sign. I don't think it's gonna hurt when you tangle with the tiger. I love good spectator sport. Just a minute. That's really not. Though this witness is, can I put it, a hungry tiger roaming the urban jungle. Get on his bad side and he'll bite everyone's heads off. Yours too. Very well. I have no choice but to impose a penalty system here. It's better be listening. I said I got business to take care of. Big business. If I don't split now, I ain't gonna catch my boss. But will not impose a penalty for any irrelevant pressing of witness testimony. Keep that in mind as you begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. You can do it, Nick. Come out from under there already, would you, Maya? Are you sure about that? We're talking about 1 month ago, you know. See this teeth? That's how sharp my secretary is. Sharp? She's talking about Viola Cadaverini. She writes everything in my schedule. Oh fuck, December, man in the office, that's what it says. So that's where I was. That seems like a rather sketchy schedule. There he goes again. What the tiger did all December isn't the issue. Tomorrow is what he was doing on the day of the murder. So now what? It's a tiger. What do you want? If you wouldn't mind going in a bit more detail. It's a dead end, right? And you know it. Remember the rules. No, it's essential that we establish the witness's alibi accurately. I agree. The victim was killed on December 3rd. Were you in the office that day too? Maybe you said listening. Of course I was. I never set foot outside. I had meetings all day with a bunch of cats wanting to do business with me. I've never seen that young kid before. I do believe the witness's statement was important. Mr. Court, if you could please... Tiger, the court asked you that last statement to your testimony. Not the anonymous be to be a minor and ask him yourself. You didn't know Mr. Glenn Alec? Really? I don't mess with the guppies when there are bigger fish to fry. What do you say, boss? Who? Me? That's why I hate you with the fat $200,000. Seriously considering this? Oh, the tiger's a really good salesman, huh? Yeah, and if I want to sell this case, I need to copy him. But you hit him with that fat piece of evidence, boss. It was that easy. Vibrating, nice. There's a bunch of cool stuff there. What the fuck? I'm so confused. Replicant, except I can't afford to buy that once. That's fair, yeah. Honestly, if I didn't have some, I don't know, some stuff that's saved up somehow, I don't think I would have gotten it right away. And then I ended up getting the white snow as well. Oh my god. God damn it. I mean, I'm not really like, what's the word? I'm not regretting that I got it, but yeah, it was pricey. Outriders, that's fair, yeah. Oh wait, fuck. Of course. I'm dumb. Why can't I brain? It's a tiger. Claim you didn't know Mr. Glenelg. The one annoying thing about the fact that I pre-ordered the White Snow edition is the fact that I don't think I'll be getting it day one. Probably, unless they start shipping it beforehand. Because they probably will ship it on the day, and then it will take some time to actually get here. So yeah, it's important, but it is what it is. Claim you didn't know Mr. Glenelg. But it appears that Mr. Elk knew you. What? Mr. Elk left his little note on his calendar. Meet with the tiger and the date, December 3rd. December 3rd? That's the day of the murder. So, Mr. Tiger, I submit that you did indeed know one Mr. Glenelg, because on the very day of the incident, you met with him. Not bad, you're actually not bad. Sorry. I was just messing with you to see how good you were. Yeah, Nick, that's all. One complaint I can do without, plus he's lying through his teeth. Witness, please remember that you're under oath. Lies will not be tolerated. Call me a liar, is that what you're doing? Bro, so you're saying that your claim to have never seen a kid before is the truth? I said I'm dead serious. You better believe that's the truth. Huh. And I'd say that gives me time to enjoy another cup of pure black magic. Yes, will you testify to the court again with the tiger? Oh yes, would you mind indulging the court witness? He never actually met the victim. That's got to be a lie right there. It's time I nailed this guy. I know, liar. I never met Glenelg. There's some lame guy with that name, though, wanted to borrow cash from me. Set up a meeting with the guy at my office, Tenderlander. I went down for him, but he ain't never showed. And I ain't even been to the Tribulations trying to use here. I see. That all seems perfectly logical. I'd arranged to meet with the victim, but he didn't show up. I heard it's pretty hard to keep appointments when you're dead. Very well, you may begin your right. Yes, sir. Didn't I tell you I got a big deal going down today? I ain't gonna make my bus now. I'm gonna have to take the express train. That bill's going straight to you, right? Sure. Stagger, is there something you'd like to tell the court about these matches? Matches? What is he talking about? We found them in your office at Tenderlendo. They're from that restaurant. What? If you've really never been to Tribulations before, what was the book of the restaurant's matches doing on your desk? He's been stumbling around in my stuff not too wise guy. Well, what are you, my ball and chain? Ain't no broad controlling me. Order, order. Well, witness. I think it's time you started telling us the truth, don't you? Sorry, I'm terribly sorry. Forgive me. I know, pussycat. I don't go back on what I said. But okay, I was at the joint that day. What? Well, isn't good, alright? I might have been there, but I still never met that kid. Well. Looks like an order just came in for another testimony. And this goes to proving it was him. His meat cleaned like that day. And he did put poison in his coffee. He must have. I was supposed to meet with the kid at the restaurant that afternoon. When I opened the door to the joint, I saw one ugly scene. The guy was laid out over the table, stiff as concrete. I figured if the place wasn't hot already, it was gonna be, so I split. I took up sirens on my way out, and I went straight back to my office. I see, you didn't actually meet with him in the end, then. Well, Mr. Wright, your explanation, please. Yes, Your Honor. Hold it, if I wait around here any longer, I ain't even gonna make the normal express. No more stupid questions. Ah, no problem. Meantime, try to press you on something irrelevant, I'll see he pays a penalty. Mr. Kudo, that's my job. Your job is to stand the little hammer of yours and call a guilty verdict. So do it. Yes, sir. The special express ain't cheap. Right? Just so you know, since he was paying. Oh man, doesn't the rule of law mean anything around here? I don't know. I mean, you saw Glenn dead body. Yes, I did, but I only saw him from behind. He was wearing some raggy bit of cloth he called a hat. What time was this? I don't know. Huh? You know what winds me up more than anything else in the world? Watches, round watches. I'm gonna pull in my paws with some ticking head back of interest, Mr. Tiger. What winds you up the second most? Huh? What did you think? Square watches. Is this guy for real? Look, all I need to know was that something bad was going down in the place. So the meeting wasn't due to take place at Netherlander at all then. The kid was making a fuss about coming into the office. It's always that way when I want to talk about repayments. Even though I got the best punching back you've ever seen in if there are any issues. Maybe it's because of punching back people are scared to come. That's why you decided to meet at Tribulations. Ah, you're going over old ground again, right? Sorry. You just earned yourself a penalty. Now suck it down. I ain't taking that penalty. Ugly scene. What do you mean? The witness has already told us right, which makes the question irrelevant. But and myself to sending up so after a trial, that's the rule. We'll limit the number of times you take a penalty, right? Peaceful. Our guts will look like the inside of the chimney. Action. Give me so glad I accepted, buddy. It's good. This thing didn't penalize me, so. Shouldn't actually set bullions at the restaurant then. Tiger is a busy cat. I don't hang around for no one. I ain't got time to be caught up on no murder investigation. So, when exactly did you pick up the matches? There are matches just inside the front door. Her detective friend wound up in trouble with the chef after taking 5 books home. Poor gumshoe. Something enough to make my man cry. In a straight back, did a bout of guilt suddenly hit you or for what you did? I was trying to say. Trying to tell me you said never been guilty of nothing? We'll have our crosses to bear. We'll have to swallow those dark secrets we hide. Like this. Courtroom's not exactly the place to talk about dark secrets, is it? It seems you've done it again, Mr. Wright. Your irrelevant line of question. You must pose a penalty accordingly. Well, fuck. Yeah, what the fuck am I supposed to do here? Oh. Somehow full on collecting pro, aren't you, Mr. Tiger? No one escapes the Tiger's clutches. Well, I'm something of a lie detecting pro. And no one escapes the Phoenix's clutches. I think it's time we got something straight. What's this, right? A new line of irrelevant question. These are the floor plans of the crime scene. You say we're standing at the entrance, Mr. Tiger. From there, your field of vision would have covered an area of something like this. Indeed, the witness would have had a clear view of the victim's seat. And well, as I said, I saw the back of the kid's head. Unfortunately for you, that is not possible. If the court would think back, you'll remember that between each of the tables is a whole partition. Why, that's true. Now look at the plans again, that truly is painfully obvious. From the entrance, the field of vision of any customer walking in ends here. So from the entrance of Tribulations, you couldn't have seen the victim's seat. But you did see the victim that day, because you met with him. Wrong. Have you forgotten the old man's testimony yesterday? The victim was alone at his table. But the defense has proved that point to be moot. The victim witnessed by Mr. Kudo was not an elk, but a fake. What? In order to have Mr. Kudo false testify, the real killer posed as the victim that he had just killed and acted out the charade. That will do. This trial has gone on long enough without the obvious question being answered. Who exactly was this real killer impersonated the victim? say the killer murdered Glenn Elk, and then impersonated his victim in a performance for victory. So, in that case, Mr. Wright, reveal the identity of this criminal to the court. Obviously. Killer is Furio Tiger. No one else could have done it. What? Well, witness? Haha, now that's cute. You think you can pin this on the tiger? Maybe you still don't understand. The tiger is king of the jungle. So I dare you to say it again. Come on, you got the guts. You can threaten me, Mr. Tiger. It's a defense. Go ahead and tell the witness, Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright! Sounds to me like it must be you, old man. Because you've got guts, I'll give you that. Mr. Wright, you don't leave me to handle this alone. Huh. Perhaps I can end this embarrassment. Mr. Godot. Let's just go back over Mr. Godot's testimony one more time. The man didn't see just the victim. Oh no. The swimming girl brought him a cappuccino, but she put something in it. There's no question about it. She very conspicuously put some white powder in there. Was the victim he saw the real victim or not? That doesn't matter. Fact remains, he saw the accused put the poison into the coffee. Yes, it was the waitress who poisoned the coffee. Very impressive, Mr. Godot. Waiting for my absence to launch your attack. Ha. Found your pen at last, right? It's in my pocket. But anyway, Mr. Godot witnessed two people that day. He saw the victim, the supposed Mr. Glenn Elk, and the waitress from behind. Yes, your point, Mr. Wright? I think the conclusion is obvious. If this Glenn Elk was really the killer in disguise, then sure it's possible the waitress was also part of the show. What? You mean the waitress was an imposter as well? Then Miss Bird fell unconscious immediately after the incident. And someone used her fainting to hatch an elaborate plan to pin the murder on her. What on earth was it? What was this waitress that Mr. Godot witnessed? I said this already before. Who is this woman? Her name is Bielka Verini. She's an employee of Tenderlander. She's making a big mistake. Do you know who Wilder's grandfather is? You better be going home in an armored truck tonight if you know what I mean. Stop shaking, Nick. Where was I? Yes, the defendant, Miss Bird, has stated the following. Well, when I took the coffee over to Vega, I thought it was today. Yeah. There are just too many contradictions in this case. The second man at the victim's table, who nobody but Miss Bird seems to have seen. The earpiece worn by the victim in his left ear when the eardrum was ruptured. The radio show he was supposed to listen to half an hour after it was over. There's one logical explanation that clears up all of these contradictions. The whole incident took place twice, once for real and once for show. Mr. Furio Tiger, the only person who could have committed the crime, is you. Witness? What have you got to say? That's cute. Sorry? It's alright, I could do with a guy like you around. What do you mean? Okay, I'm in on this game. I'm gonna have the chance to get back to get me to my meeting now, but I'm gonna give you one more thing to think about before I go. Something to think about. Actually, it all wrapped up nice, huh? Right. But you missed about one real important thing. Well, that can't be. I was in the train that day, and I met that kid too. I couldn't have poisoned him, you see her. What? Do you really expect us to believe you now, Mr. Tiger? Ah. Troublemaker. Troublemaker? Looks like we are going to need another one for the road. One more steaming cup of hot testimony. Indeed. Witness, you will explain yourself to the court. I will give you one more chance to testify. What happened that day at Tribulations between yourself and the victim? Yeah, I loaned out cash, about $100,000. That day, he was due to have a little chat. We was dead. The kid had hit his payback date, see? So anyway, he tells me he's got no way to pay up. I'm about to flatten the guy when he starts screaming. Yes, I won $500,000 You're lucky, you know. Real lucky. If that waitress hadn't done what she'd done, everything would have been over. Now, I see that the principal amount you loaned to Mr. Elk was $50,000. Yeah, well, he's got the week to take into account. Interest builds up fast, you know. It's faster than fast, $100,000 twice his principal. And the repayment deadline was December 3rd, the day of the incident in question. Yeah, he was one lucky kid. He got that $500,000 just in time, so I ain't have no reason to kill the kid. If I ain't got no motive, you ain't got no case. His motive? He has to have one, but what is it? Did you have any way of paying the loan back? The fool was a gambler. Said he couldn't give it up till he landed a big win. So I agreed to help him. Help him? You? I kept hitting him with ideas for ways he could get a big win. The guy kept losing. So you were helping him for his sake or yours? Win through compromise. Use help me, I helped use. What's the fictive? I don't believe this. Like, would anyone really ever loan money to someone they thought was unreliable? Like, for example, if it were you, I'd only loan you $5 max. Thanks a lot, Maya. Oof. So how much were you expecting him to pay back on that day? What do you think? The whole package, $100,000, including interest. It's a heavyweight punch. Once a client misses a repayment, you call the whole loan in. If you want to make it in my world, that's all he's gotta know. How many times had Mr. Elk been late with his repayments? Once. How much was he supposed to pay back every month? $50. Sounds like Mr. Elk was in a real sticky spot. Yeah, at $50 a month, he'd never pay that huge sum off. How much did he have left on his debt? He wanted in round figures, about $100,000. Repeating, that's the whole amount. We're talking about a guy who had 58 cents in his wallet. What, you telling me he wasn't even gonna pay for the coffee? That seems to have been a brave man, this Mr. Elk. This guy was smooth, I tell you, it's real smooth. You'll have your money in less than 5 minutes, that's what he says to me. The guy then calls me the tender tiger, he was skating on thin ice with me. Was it because the guy won the lottery? Was his last chance to be a big win? I can confirm that this is the ticket in question. That's it. Millionaire radio show starts at 1:30 PM and runs for 20 minutes. The fixed time you two met with some accuracy. The whole scene was acted out again 30 minutes later. Also that Mr. Kudo would see it. I still see the kid's face now. I'm never gonna forget it. Was there anyone else in the restaurant at the time? I don't remember. If there was no one there, I'll wear that ridiculous tiger shirt for a month. Mr. Armstrong, Maggie and if I'm right, Real Cadaverini were all there at that time. The victim had intended to repay you from his lottery winnings from the beginning. Seems that way to me. But you wouldn't normally expect to win the lottery, would you? Ah. the undying belief that your next roll will end the worst losing streak you ever had. That's what defines a true gambler. It sounds so cool. Don't be tempted, Nick. You haven't got the willpower for it. All I know is, the kid took a shot and he got lucky in the end. Waiters, you mean? Girl with the glasses in the financier. Who else could I mean? If she hadn't got in the way, things would have been bada bing bada boom, over and done with. Maybe she was a little on this. What happened there? I guess they are implying the defendant did. What do you guys for us about that $500,000 ticket? She wanted it so bad. She poisoned Elk's coffee. A likely theory. Your word hasn't held water lately, Miss Tiger. Let's not forget this witness was actually at the scene, right? The Lord didn't exactly agree with some of the deals I sent down. I couldn't be there when the cop showed up, so I split. I see. Don't know. The witness's last few statements are worth a good 2 cups of coffee. I don't care, Mr. Goddard. We'll amend your testimony according to the witness. So that's what you after Phoenix, right? Tiger's trying to pin the crime on Maggie. I asked him about what he saw. It's only going to damage our case. 2 million things would have been over and done with. Are you still all there or what? I'm talking about the cash. I was there to get my $100,000 back. That's all. I'm a businessman. It was all coming together before that waiters got in the way. As far as I can tell from the witness's testimony, other than recouping his loan, Mr. Tiger had no motive for killing the victim. Well, Mr. Wright, are you happy with the testimony, or would you like to amend it? I'm not going to get anywhere with the testimony as it stands. Or the defense would like the testimony amended. Very well. Witness, you will amend your testimony to reflect your recent statements, please. So it just intended to get back the $100,000 Mr. Elk owed you, correct? I want the guy to cash, so that's my right. Unfortunately for Mr. Elk, I don't believe it. The $100,000 is what you were really after.
Objection.
What are you getting at, right? What else would a moneylender be after other than money? Oh, the moneylender was after money, but money in a totally different league. The kind of money that a single disc like this would fetch. What is that? Computer virus, you know. Virus called MC Bomber. Computer virus? What does one of those do? Computer virus is a program that wreaks havoc on the insides of a computer. Computer? What does one of those do? I guess the merit isn't only part of his honor, that is from the Stone Age. I'll explain it to you later, you know. Right now, this is the important point. Virus like MC Bomber would be about several $1 million on the black market. Several $1 million? Earning money with no hope of ever seeing repayment would normally be bad for business. In this case, the very fact that the Glen Elk had no way to repay the money is crucial. What? Glen Elk was a programmer, a highly skilled programmer. The skill was the collateral Mr. Elk put in order to borrow the money.
Objection.
You're trying to suggest the witness's motive was to get hold of that program. Exactly. The witness may have poor fashion sense, but he's by no means an idiot, right? A man like him could get his hands on $1 million without resulting in a murder. Of course he could, provided that he had time. But what if he had needed the money right then? When the pressure's on, the luxury of choice tends to disappear. It seems you have a logical conclusion for this theory, Mr. Wright. Be care to share it with us. Why did Mr. Tiger need money to the tune of $1 million? December of last year, you found yourself in need of a huge amount of money. About 6 months ago, you were involved in a traffic accident, weren't you? An accident involving a car and a scooter in which a young man was injured. He was taken to the hospital where she underwent surgery. How much of this do you know? These medical papers document the treatment of the young woman in question. According to these, her operation cost $1 million, and yet, when the payment was due last month, you somehow managed to pay it in full. $1 million, a preposterous sum. Someone should sue these HMOs. No one would pay a bill like that. If the medical association got wind of it, the hospital would end up as dead as a morgue. Mr. Tiger had no choice but to pay, because his very life depended on it. Order. You say his life depended on it, Mr. Wright? Indeed it did, simply because that injured woman was none other than Villa Cadaverini. You say Cadaverini? Roberto Cadaverini, mob boss in charge of all underworld activities in the city and doting grandfather to his precious Violetta, also known as Villa Cadaverini. Your life is in danger unless you paid compensation to the boss, correct? Makes sense. You are desperate to acquire the $1 million Bruto Cadaverini demanded of you. So desperate, in fact, that you decided to sacrifice Glenn Elk's life to pay your debt. On the day of the murder, Mr. Tiger's whole intention was to get his hands on the CD. Glenn Elk had no way of paying back the $100,000, and Mr. Tiger knew it. But then a miracle happened. I bet that Mr. Tiger would prefer to say never happened, but they can't, and neither can I. The lottery bid. Exactly. At the 11th hour, Mr. Tiger won $500,000 on the lottery. Except Mr. Tiger with no way of getting his hands on the all-important CD. At least no legitimate way. So he resorted to legitimate means. It's crazy. He murdered Glenn Elk and then made his next move. Frame Mackie Bird for the crime. Tiger posed as Glenn Elk, while Villa Cadaverini played the whole role of Miss Bird. And then they reenacted the whole thing in order to establish a witness. The witness being the one we all heard testify yesterday, Mr. Victor Crudo. Like I said, right, that's crazy. No one could pull off a stunt like that. For starters, there's no way that Jeff could have been kept in the dark about it. But Mr. Armstrong was in on it from the very beginning. Have you forgotten already, Mr. Goddard? Armstrong owed the witness money too, $500,000 in fact. He had no choice but to go along with Mr. Tiger's plan. Order, silence, or I will clear the courtroom. Ha ha ha. He's put on a good show, Spiky. If you just wanna stay alive in the loan shark business, you gotta be careful. He's saying I dressed up like that kid, created a witness and framed someone. If I did something crazy like that, I'd leave a trail as bright as my shirt. I ain't dumb enough to do something sloppy like that. I agree. You do. Despite your appearance, you're very careful. That's why you took one more precaution. One more trick to make sure Miss Bird had no way out. But another one, Mr. Wright? Interesting. Why don't you fill us all in, right? What was this trick that you say Mr. Tiger performed to frame the accused? And what's the relevance of that? Right? It's just a little intro. Intro to what? Seems all this has been an elaborate trick on the part of the defense. Wow, I guess that wasn't it then. Oh, and I'm dumb. Fuck. What on earth is that? It's an insult to think anyone could be fooled by such a child's imitation. Consider yourself insulted, Your Honor. Mr. Tiger, you didn't just pose as the victim on the day in question. A month ago in this very court, you posed as me. What? That's the truth. But the witness looks nothing like you, Mr. Wright. Although, now that I think about it, it was you, wasn't it? Turned out it was you, standing in here this very court a mere month ago. Phoenix Wright, who put up the most disreputable, stabby defense I had ever seen. Grr. Can you prove that, Gramps? Prove that attorney who represented the accused here a month ago was this man. I prepared to take the stand and testify that it was him. Hey, forget about it, yeah? Don't do something like that, it's not me. You made a mistake, right? You're someone else, huh? Have you no pride, sir? It isn't a matter of pride. In case you didn't know, right? Here in court, we deal with people's lives. Mr. Good at this, right? Honor. Speaking for myself, I am absolutely convinced. The attorney in question was the witness standing before me now. However, I preside over this court as the judge. With the vested someone in my position cannot be swayed by memory without evidence to support it. No! The defense has no further evidence. The court will now but will now excuse the witness. The circumstances surrounding Mr. Tiger are dubious for sure, but not conclusive. But we've come so far. You say he impersonated Glenelg. You say he impersonated you. None of that adds up to a murder charge. I don't have a shred of evidence that the witness poisoned the victim's coffee. I'm sure, please. Looks to be you, right? Don't mess with the tiger. We're gonna get mauled. You just got that? All we managed to do here was chase him around a bit. I was so close to getting him to admit his own guilt. Looks like I won't be needing a refill. But just that one more piece of evidence. One more piece of evidence, and maybe I could get Mackie off the hook. This witness's cross-examination is over. You are free to go, Mr. Tiger. Your Honor, sir. Wait! Detective! Do you think I'm sure? Sorry I took so long, pal. I staked everything on this. My badge, the works. So here it is. My heart's counting on this too. What is it, dude? It's obvious, pal. It's the final decisive piece of evidence. What? What? Okay, 2:48 PM. Sure it took so long, pal, but I finally got the results from the lab. Results? What the prints, pal? From this amazing bottle. Oh, so, do you know who the prints belong to now? Do you think I'm some kind of hack detective? Of course I know. So, tell us. They're tigers, right? I knew it. Hehehe. You bet. There's crystal all over the bottle. They're Furia Tiger's paw prints, alright. That's great. We've got him now, Nick. What's wrong with you? You've hardly said a word since Detective Gumshoe got here. Said everything on the line for this, Nick. I know. Look, I'm sorry. This is kind of hard to say, but it doesn't make any difference whose prints are on that bottle now. Huh? What? Why not? But we need to produce this attested in the trial. Zero potable evidence that the tiger put poison in Glenn and Oak's coffee. He's already admitted that he met the victim. The fact that his prints are on this bottle, that really doesn't make any difference now. I knew it. Great. No matter how hard I try, I'm never of any use. Hey, don't be so hard on yourself. This was our last chance to help Maggie. And I've been working on some useless piece of evidence the whole time. It's alright. I'm a real loser. It's not breaking news to me, pal. Detective, Gumshoe, Maggie. You've been working on something for me? Sorry I let you down, Maggie. I know you didn't do it. And I'm a detective. We're supposed to be able to prove stuff like that. I'm really sorry. I'll get out of here now. Detective Gumshoe, wait! He's gone. Is there anything we can do now, Nick? I wish there was. Gumshoe worked so hard to get that evidence. If only there was some way I could use it. So Wright. Yes, Your Honor. I granted you a recess so you could prepare the decisive evidence you've discovered. Yes. Don't keep us all in suspense, right? Show us. Naturally. We can assume it's evidence that will not actually stand up in court, can't we? Think Phoenix. Don't let Gumshoe's hard work go to waste. How much more of my time are you just gonna waste? I ain't been to no court before. But your lawyers sure know how to blow things out of proportion. No doubt, given the nature of the evidence, it will speak for itself. Nevertheless, it will talk us through it, Mr. Wright. And I can't prove anything new with this feat of evidence. I'm really backed into a corner here. Maybe if he thinks he's got me beat, he'll let his guard down a bit. Don't keep us waiting any longer, Mr. Wright. Present this final decisive piece of evidence to the court. It's the defense's final piece of evidence. Isn't that the victim's gunner? Naturally, the court is already aware of the contents of this bottle. However, interesting new information has come to light. We have clearly identified some fingerprints on it. Fingerprints belonging to you, Mr. Tiger. What? But Mr. Wright, what conclusion are you hoping to draw from this new information? Everyone here knows what this bottle contains, except one man. One person in this courtroom should theoretically be in the dark. My prints are on that pencil looking bottle. Is that what you say? Well, what the hell is in it anyway? Phony trial, a phony lawyer, and phony clues. Everything about this case has been phony. Seems like the perfect excuse for some phony evidence. Mr. Tiger, this is the decisive piece of evidence that will prove your guilt. Why? Because it contains... Oops, wrong button. This bottle contains potassium cyanide. Potassium cyanide? Wasn't used to murder Mr. Tiger. The victim's killer used this very bottle. And on this bottle, Mr. Tiger, we found your fingerprints. Well, how do you explain that? You'd make a good clown, you know that? What? You said never gonna get taste the stick. You're just making me laugh now. You think a cheap bluff like that's gonna fool the tiger? A bluff? I see straight through you, Phoenix, right? The little bottle with the cyanide in it. No. It's the bottle we found traces of the poison in. Don't mess with the tiger, or you're gonna get ripped to shreds. The cyanide bottle was brown, and was made of glass. A cheap piece of trash don't look nothing like it. Cake. Got him. At last. What? Why is everyone going quiet? I said the bottle. Is this the bottle you're referring to? Yeah, that's it. That's the bottle the cyanide was in. But you said gonna find my print on the bottle. Well then, the coast will get sued for you people. The lawyers just playing games. Tell him, Mr. Prosecutor. Tell that guy where to go. Still haven't figured it out. Don't you realize what you just said? What I said? What did I say? We were summoned to this court for the first time earlier today. We really had nothing to do with the murder. You shouldn't have known all the little details. For instance, you shouldn't have known what kind of bottle the potassium cyanide was in. But just now, you slipped up in front of every single person in this court. You described the exact bottle used by the killer to hold the poison. You don't know who you're messing with. I'm the Tiger. I control millions of dollars on the black market. You think I'm gonna let some jumped up suit get the better of me? Sure, the last piece of evidence was phony. But that's what you deserve. A phony trial with a phony lawyer. It was all played out by you, the biggest phony of all. Jesus Christ. What? What's going on? Who's still blackout? Well done. Tried. I saved my 70th cup of coffee just for you. Savor it. While you watch the police restrain your prey. Oh man. Mr. Wright, you caught the tiger by his toe, but if this one hollers, he won't be let go. Now then, how are things going with Mr. Tiger, Mr. Gomez? He's being arrested on suspicion of the murder of Glenelg, Your Honor. Fortunately for us, he managed to rectify a very grave error. His bird was found guilty in the absence of a genuine defense attorney. Yes, she was. And in the absence of genuine evidence. But the tiger made one mistake. Indeed. He very nearly got away with everything if it wasn't for that one slip of the tongue. Poor tiger is a truly frightening criminal. Ah, a truly frightening one. He's a defense attorney over there. Got it. Well, I'm now in a position to deliver my verdict. This court finds the defendant Mackie Bird. Hey, so this court is adjourned. Oh man. Bloody important. This is right. I'm lost for words. Thank you, sir. Congratulations, Maggie. I was so mad when Mr. Wright landed me in all that trouble a month ago. But now I feel like I can forgive him. Hey, that wasn't me, Maggie. That was the tiger. Look, Nick. In the doorway. Did the gumshoe. Oh, guess I'll be heading off then. See you around, pal. Wait! Did the gumshoe. Oh yeah. Congratulations, Maggie. Thanks. I knew you were innocent all along. Why didn't you say that in your testimony then? Huh? Oh, well, I was... Well, guess I'll be heading off then. See you around. Wait up, detective. Just run off. Maggie, why are you being so hard on him? He busted his butt for you. It's thanks to him that we got the medication bottle. It wasn't even of any use. But it's only because Mr. Wright used it so cleverly. The gumshoe was just running around in circles. Poor guy. Looks like she still isn't ready to forgive him. Can't you put in a good word for him, Nick? Yeah, Maya's right. I should help Gumshoe out. It's clear he needs it. What can I present here? I probably need to present something, right? Maggie? You know, do you think Gumshoe's been really worried about you through all of this? I believe that on that first day of the trial, he practically gave the Chats a free pass to lock me up. He didn't have any choice, Maggie. He's a detective. He has to report the facts. He doubted me, that's why. He thought I might have done it. Got to prove her that Gumshoe really cares about her. I know. I'll give her a little present to celebrate her freedom. Here you are. A present to celebrate your freedom. That's a present from Detective Gumshoe, made with a ton of love. He said you lost weight and he was worried about you. Detective Gumshoe. I actually really like weenies, you know? Did you guys hear that? I'm pretty hungry myself, you know. Yeah, the trial dragged on a bit today, didn't it? Is it okay if I eat this now? So, how is it, Mackie? It's really good. Oh. This case of phony versus genuine comes to an end. The false allegations surrounding Maggie have all been cleared up. Oh, fuck. I pressed enter and it skipped it. As if I learned about the end. Okay. Turn about beginnings. I won't actually properly start this, but I'll just... I don't know, something. Go, let her go. Shut up. Come closer, and I kill her. Sorry, but you are not going to get the chance. Oh jeez. What? Oh. Okay. I'm reading through the file of an old court case. There's the first case of my longtime mentor, Yafe. Very false. Kidnapping murder. There's death penalty. There's giving a false met with and 10 murdered sergeant 1 times. About 8 hours after his escape. Ray's first client was a death row inmate who had recently broken out of prison. It was a whole year before Mia and I have ever met. Yafe first trial. Also, we're getting 2 trials from Yafe in this game. Okay. I'm going to do that. Okay. And I'll just call it there. Okay. Oh man. I mean, there would be a chance that I could do that as well today, but because it's just one trial this episode. But yeah. I'd rather just not stop halfway.